The Prime Minister could be gone by the end of this week as the Met Police finally investigate Downing Street's illegal parties. Yes, Christmas is over, which means we're back to this saga, this drama of the so-called illegal gatherings in Downing Street. And we know that before Christmas, when this whole thing started, the hit job, the media already knew all this stuff for months and months, and they decided to use it now, which is fine. That's what they do. Now, there is a point that I'm going to explain at the end of what I think about, the mood in the country and if it's actually going to get anywhere. But the Met investigation, if it actually concludes that Boris Johnson and his right-hand man are guilty, essentially, then he can't stay as Prime Minister. This email that came out from Martin Reynolds, who is the principal private secretary to Boris Johnson, this is completely, of course, unacceptable. And this guy, was the same guy who was in one of the photos in the Downing Street garden that came out a few weeks ago. This is obviously, this guy has to go. That's obvious. We know that. They've already sent an email to everyone saying, bring your own booze, which, by the way, if I were working for Downing Street, I would be angry on a different level. If your employer organizes a party, legal or illegal, why is your employer asking you to bring your own booze? You should provide the alcohol. I don't understand what Downing Street were up to. That's one problem. But let's talk about why this actually matters, because this is actually completely on a new level. A lot of people are sick and tired of this story because they think they already have low expectations of Boris Johnson. They're like, well, we're not surprised anymore. We don't really care. This is a distraction, and I agree. But there is still the principle of leadership and directly lying to the public, if it's actually been proven, which we're just waiting for the Met to conclude the investigation. Now, today, Michael Ellis was on his own defending the Prime Minister, and no other minister, you can see the front bench, there was nobody else to actually support him, which is quite embarrassing for the Tory government. And then on top of that, we had another MP, Jim Shannon, from the UP, who stood up and asked a very emotional question. And this is what could bring down this government if we're going to have more incidents like this.
Today, so will the paymaster, including my mother-in-law who died alone, will the Paymaster General confirm that there will be a full and complete disclosure to enable the police service to ascertain it all was done decently and within the regulations at the date and at that time?
I mean, I understand some people are going to be, the opposition MPs are going to take advantage of it. But whether you like it or not, there have been a lot of people in the country, the majority, who sacrificed. This is the first lockdown where the majority just actually went with the law and, the regulations, and a lot of people were alone. A lot of people lost their lives on their own. A lot of people could not see their loved ones, and they lost their jobs. The mental health cases went up. And now you just look at the situation where that day, Oliver Dowden from the government went literally next door to the press briefing, told the country that you cannot meet outside unless you meet one person from a different household and do social distancing in a park. That was that time. And then literally that meeting finished, that conference, 10 minutes later, they brought their own booze and then started drinking all together. Big gathering. This is why people are sick and tired. They're not really surprised, the public, that politicians lie. That's not really the issue anymore. It's a whole new level. Michael Fabricant himself went on TV as a Tory MP to kind of defend, not really defend, just kind of, technically defend the situation, because it's quite difficult on a legal level even for a Tory MP to do that. But he was stuck with one simple question when the interviewer said, do we have to wait for the investigation to finish to find out if the Prime Minister was there?
Should we have to wait for Sue Gray to tell us whether or not the Prime Minister was there?
I beg your pardon? Sorry.
Should we have to wait for Sue Gray to tell us whether or not the Prime Minister was there?
Well, presumably, or the Met Police, yes.
This is sad. This is where people are going to lose their patience, because why do we have to wait for Sue Gray? Why can't the Prime Minister at this point, basically have a meeting with your weird PR team that are so terrible at communications, decide, are you going to continue to lie or are you going to tell the truth? Because if you're going to tell the truth, because let's just say the truth is that, of course, the Prime Minister was there. Let's just go with that. Allegedly, right? Just come out and say it. don't wait for Sue Gray's investigation to finish or the Met investigation to finish, because that is a worse look. It's a worst case scenario. If we have to wait for you to continue to like hide or like not answer and lie, and then the investigation confirms that you were there, then that's it. The Prime Minister can't really stay as the leader of this country anymore. This is slightly different to the pre-Christmas leaked photos and stories about, the Dominic Raab's department or this department or Downing Street had parties, but the Prime Minister wasn't there. This is slightly different, considering, a few weeks ago when the initial stories came out about the leaked information about the parties, the Prime Minister himself came and apologised on behalf of Downing Street staff members, saying, yeah, what they did was wrong. I wonder how many of them got fired.
Speaker, may I begin by saying that I understand and share the anger up and down the country at seeing number 10 staff seeming to make light of lockdown measures. And I can understand...
He understands the frustration. This was, a few weeks ago, just before Christmas, I believe, when he said that on behalf of my employees, and I can say that we are sorry. Then it continued. Why were they not ready, by the way? They knew that this was a hit job by the media. They knew that they had all these stories. He just head buried in the sand, decided to go. And this is a good distraction, because there are a number of other big stories and big issues that is actually affecting all of us. And the media are now going to completely focus on this. And if it's going to bring down the government, then just do it soon, so that we could actually focus on real problems that we're facing. Right now, we're just in a limbo, and it's disgusting. Now, I have a question for you guys. Let me know in the comment section if you think this story that just came out, regardless of the investigation, if it's going to be just like the other pre-Christmas stories about Downing Street parties. Is it just going to be a wave and it's going to go away and he's going to survive? Or do you think that this could be the end of Boris Johnson as Prime Minister? Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi and we are the media.